Pornography, for many, is something used recreationally. But for some, it can have the most devastating grip over their lives. According to experts, when pornography is used, it creates a high of dopamine in the brain. It's the highly addictive chemical that's responsible for pleasure. It's the novelty of pornography that makes it highly addictive to some users, to the point where some isolate themselves away from their partners. Dopamine thrives on novelty. No matter how gorgeous your partner looks, no one can compete with the novelty. But despite the dopamine high, many addicts describe feelings of shame and disgust with themselves afterwards. For some, these negative feelings can go even further. In some cases, the addiction has seen people lose relationships, their jobs and their self-esteem. Perhaps the worst consequence of all is that 1 in 5 men describe themselves as suicidal because of their addiction to pornography. Story 1. Michael, 28, was 13 when he came across pornography on the internet while he was searching for information on the White House. He explained, "The next thing I saw were pictures of naked women. Just at that second, I felt the biggest rush of an emotion I didn't know existed until then. I knew it became a habit when I was 16 and found myself watching it for hours. And I couldn't stop. Each time I watched it, I enjoyed the rush, but hated how I felt after. I always felt disgust and shame. For some reason, I kept finding myself in the same situation despite how bad it made me feel." Michael says his addiction got so bad, he would turn down going out with friends and his girlfriend in order to watch porn and masturbate. He added, "The craving intensified and I started seeking more thrilling forms of pornography. I started noticing that I essentially created a diet of different kinds, such as watching people of different ethnicities, body shapes and so on. Every time I watched porn, I felt on top of the world. I felt I could choose which woman I could experience sexual highs with. I felt like I could control everything. I'd set up exactly what I wanted and how I wanted it." 2 things helped him to overcome his addiction: confessing to my girlfriend, who is now my wife. She encouraged me to find accountability not only in her but also a mentor, another man who had overcome it and could relate with me. Secondly, I had to replace the passion with something else like sport. His advice to other people struggling with this addiction is this: accountability and replacement, open up to people, preferably trusted people who can hold you accountable and guide you through. Chances are, whoever you open up to went through the same thing. Replace it with a healthier alternative such as sports or outdoor activities. Study your patterns and you'd spot the problem. Lastly, don't ever trust yourself. Set rules like no laptop while I'm alone, or whatever works, like using internet filters with passwords your accountability partners alone know while surfing the internet. Story 2. Ricky, 32, started watching porn at 14 and found he was unable to be intimate with women in real life. He explained, "I found that when I began having sex with women, I was shooting blanks cause my brain was used to a woman on a screen and not in real life." Ricky said his low point was the way he began to treat women in real life and the places he watched pornography. He explained, "I couldn't keep my sexual urges and desires to myself. I would show everyone beautiful women I have been around like their trophies. I felt excitement when I looked at it in places I shouldn't have been looking at. For example, the computer room in university. A year later, I was about to have sex with a lady when I felt something internally ask me why go through this again. We didn't end up having sex. So after she left, I got rid of all of my porn on my hard drives and broke my DVDs." Porn addiction is something a lot of men deal with. So you're not alone. My advice is to read Why Porn is Not Healthy. Go out and talk to women, learn how to date, fail often and put in work to have real sex. It's way better than using your hand or a sex toy.